Couple of other things that have been in the headlines this week off the track. There was a meeting on Tuesday night of NASCAR team owners held at Hendrick Motorsports with NASCAR's blessing. Rusty, you were there. Brad, a representative of your team, was there. Can you give us an idea what the purpose of the meeting was and what was discussed?
Well, the meeting was just about trying to figure out how to save money, Alan. I mean, a lot of owners are very, very concerned about the cost of the sport and the escalating cost of the sport, and they're trying to get together about some ideas. What can they do to help save money? They talked about hotels. They talked about travel. They talked about a mile of tires they're using. Everything was considered and everything on the table. But above all, I really liked the attitude out of everybody. They've all looked at each other, and everybody was throwing different ideas in. And like you said, NASCAR knew about it was going on, so it wasn't a big secret. But I liked it. I was impressed with the meeting.
You know, I've been really impressed with NASCAR this year. They've been very proactive about reaching out to the car owners as well as the drivers and involving everyone in trying to figure out how to make this sport better going forward. I mean, we've got some brilliant business people in this garage, guys like Roger Penske, Rick Hendrick, some of the most successful business people on this planet. And to take those guys and to put them in a room and to bring some guys in who are drivers and other people and share these ideas, you got to pat NASCAR on the back for really, really trying to create an environment to help grow and continue to grow this sport.
All right, next story. On Monday, the Associated Press broke the story that two NASCAR drivers had been fined this season for comments that they made that were considered detrimental to the sport by officials. Comments in the media for one, and reportedly on Twitter for the other. Those fines not disclosed publicly at the time by NASCAR. Subsequently, it's been confirmed that Denny Hamlin and Ryan Newman were the drivers involved. Now, this brought about some pretty passionate debate through the week among the press corps and among some fans. I'd like to get your reaction to NASCAR fining the drivers for their comments.
Well, and I spoke to Mike Helton about this, and I think it's very fair. What you have to do as an athlete or a participant in this sport, or owners like Rusty and I are, is you have to protect the integrity of the sport, the character of the sport. We're all very, very privileged and fortunate to be able to do this for a living, and we have to make sure we cultivate that. So whenever it's attacked or whenever there's something said that damages the intent of the sport or the ruling body, it has to be dealt with. And I think NASCAR did an absolutely fabulous job in going out and taking these guys who made these comments and slapping them really hard on the wrist, saying, look, we cannot do this. We're all in this together.
I tell you, I totally agree with you. I think everybody needed a wake-up call when it comes to this. I mean, why bash the sport that feeds us? I mean, I wouldn't do that. And every now and then you got to say, hey, man, what are you doing? Why'd you say that? And this is something that resonated through the entire garage area, and I believe all the drivers be aware of how great this sport really is.
Now, but what about the fact that they didn't disclose those fines and the fact that they made them?
Now, that's the other side of it. I think that they have to, or they should, disclose who the individuals are who made these comments or whatnot, simply so you have a sounding board. You have an idea, an example of what the tolerances are when you look at what someone else says. That's what the NBA does so very well. You know, in the NBA, if someone says something about an official, for instance, no matter what it is, even as a fan, you know that guy's going to be fined. So you know when you're stepping over those boundaries, and I think that would help.
NASCAR President Mike Helton told us this morning that the reason they've treated these meetings the way they have, these fines, they treat them like meetings they have with the drivers in the front of the hauler, that what happens in the hauler stays in the hauler, but the drivers are free to say anything they want to. It's when they step over a certain line where they materially damage the sport is what concerns NASCAR. That was from NASCAR President Mike Helton this morning. As you can see, the drivers gathering for introductions. Up next, Denny Hamlin trying to win a third straight Pocono race. Denny's got more riding on his car than just a number today, though, at Pocono. How Hamlin races to help a young lady and others in her situation when NASCAR Countdown continues. Tonight, classic rivalry, the Dodgers and the Giants on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Then it's a National League East rivalry on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball, 7 Eastern. David Wright and the Mets take on Jason Hayward and the Braves. Both games available on ESPN3.com. Getting set to go racing at Pocono Raceway, the tricky triangle where the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series goes 500 miles today. You see we're about 49 minutes from the green flag. The last two times the checkered flag has waved here at Pocono, it was the same driver getting to it first, Denny Hamlin. Led the most laps both times, got shuffled back by pit strategy both times. He beat Juan Pablo Montoya to the checkers last August. And then 6 weeks ago, he got away from Tony Stewart on a green-white checker restart for the victory. But the third straight Pocono win's not the only thing riding on Hamlin's day today. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Alan. You know, most of us who love music know that songs can be inspiring, but in this case, it's the singer who is really inspirational. 15-year-old Crystal Martinez loves NASCAR almost as much as she loves music. And yesterday, she got a chance to perform during the pre-race festivities here at Pocono for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Race. Now, Crystal hopes that the sport she loves so much and her music will come together to help her in a very difficult battle she is facing.
I'm Crystal Martinez. I'm 15 years old. I am a huge NASCAR fan. And I happen to have cystic fibrosis. A good day is I can literally feel like I am a normal person. I can sing to my fullest.
Crystal Martinez of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, knows she has a gift to sing, despite fighting every day just to breathe. Crystal was born with cystic fibrosis, a condition that creates a mucus buildup in her lungs. With treatment, the median life expectancy of someone with CF has improved to 38 years. At present, there is no cure.
A bad day, I either have a lung infection and I'm in the hospital, or pancreatitis and I'm in the hospital, and then it's where I can hardly breathe, or I'm like holding my stomach because it hurts so much, and I'm bending over because it hurts so much. I used to think it was like the worst thing in the world, that I hated it, that no one could ever imagine that what I'm going through and like what I have to deal with every day. But then it's just like people inspired me so much that I can't just give up, you know, because I've tried many times, but I can't, I just can't. There's too many things in life that I have to look forward to.
Crystal is an amazing young lady with a beautiful voice, in that she has not let cystic fibrosis stand in her way. She always has a smile on her face, even when she doesn't feel well. You know, you never, you don't get a negative vibe from Crystal. She's so positive and open.
I don't like to think of it that I have a disease. I like to think that, you know, it's just a difficulty that I have to deal with, but it's also an opportunity. It brings a lot of opportunities my way.
One such opportunity came when Crystal got to meet her NASCAR hero.
So you're back? Back again this year?
Yep, it's time to sing the national anthem.
The Denny Hamlin Foundation supports cystic fibrosis research, but for Denny, there is a personal connection as well.
My cousin has cystic fibrosis and you know, had a successful lung transplant about 5 years ago. It affects so many people, and they're so close to a cure, and it's something that I've always supported even when I was a kid. It's good to see Crystal being able to sing, you know, especially in front of a big crowd.
So hold your head high, don't ever let them define.
She's so involved in Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. With her voice, with her talent, she's always raising money.
I hope that she will inspire the other children who have illnesses like this, that there is something that they can do, that there is more to life than just being stuck with this illness.
She has so many gifts and talents, and it's not just her personality and her singing, it's all of her. She's not a disease, she's a young lady.
I am changed by the music I sing, because I'll listen to it and I'll just be like, wow, I really want to sing that, because I know how much it's changed me, and so I know that it can change someone else.
What a story. Now joined now by Denny Hamlin. And Denny, on behalf of Crystal and so many like her, thank you and your foundation for all you've been trying to do. What can be done to help people like her and others with CF?
Well, you know, you can go to my foundation, the Denny Hamlin Foundation, through my website, dennyhamlin.com, and make a donation. And you know, 80% or 70 or 80% of all the proceeds go to cystic fibrosis. My cousin has it, and it's obviously close to our family. And really, a lung transplant is the best case scenario for someone with CF. They're very, very close to a cure, but you know, we're still not there yet. So, you know, I think other than different than other illnesses. I don't think the government supports the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So